algebra. In that paper, I am going to teach Unit 2 subgroups. And in that paper, I am going to teach cosets. One of the topic of cosets. One of the topic of the subgroups. Okay, the important topic, cosets. What is co? What is co means? What is set? What is set? So, what is set? First you have to know. Set means we already learned in earlier classes. What is set? Set means the collection of well-defined objects or elements is called a set. Okay, friends? Once again, set means the collection of well-defined objects or elements is called a set. The sets are all sets are represented by only capital letters. We all learn in 10th class also. What is roster form? What is set builder form? What is set? What is Venn diagrams? We all learn in 10th class also. Okay. So now we are going to know only cosets. What is co? Co means adding. Remember once. Co means adding. For example, if you go to women's college, okay now, who are they? They are only girls. So simply we can recognize women's college. So men's college. So only men's college. Only men's. But co-education means both are mixing. One side girls sitting, one side boys sitting. So that's why the education is said to be co-education. If only girls college, only boys college. But both are mixed, then it is said to be co-education. So same meaning. Co means adding to the set. So for example, capital H is equal to small h, such that small h belongs to capital H. We know this is a set. So coset means we add into small a plus capital H is equal to small a plus small h, such that small set belongs to capital H. Here H is only set, but A plus H means adding an element, not set. Adding only an element to the set is said to be coset. It is called coset. Co means adding. So why we can add this? Only this side. We can add this also, this side also. Then it can be written as small h belongs to. If we add small a this side, then it can be written as small h belongs to A such that small h belongs to capital H. Okay, friends? Once again, what is H? H is a set only. What is small a? Small a means an element. So, if we add small a in, which side this to H? Left side. So this is called left coset. This is called left coset. Why sir this is called left coset? Means small a is an element added to H by left side. So this is called left coset. Okay friends? Next, right coset. Right side means to H. We are adding a small a in right side. So then we get H means small h plus small a means small a such that small h belongs to capital H. So which side we are adding small a? Right side. So it is simply as right coset. Okay friends? What is coset? What is left coset? What is right coset? Okay? If both cosets are equal, then simply we can write as coset. If you mentioned only coset, that means left and right cosets must be equal. Okay? That's why in your 10th class or 9th class, in SSC or CBSE or ICSE syllabus, you mentioned only set only, not coset. Okay? Why? Because left and right cosets are equal. Okay friends, this is called cosets. This is also known as with respect to plus. With respect to plus means addition only. With respect to plus means addition. So left coset with respect to addition, right coset with respect to addition. Okay, friends? Any doubt? Example. Example. Today date is 16. I am adding 16. 16 plus capital H. Let capital Z is equal to so on minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. This is an infinite set. We know Z is equal to Z means set of integers, an infinite set. Okay? I am adding this to 3 plus Z. 3 plus Z. 3 plus Z means adding 3 to the Z. So add 3, so on. If you add 3 minus 3, 0. 3 minus 2, 1. 3 minus 1, 2. 3 plus 0, 3. 4, 6, 5, 6, and so on. Also, this side also we can minus 2, minus 1, so on. Okay, friends, this is 3 plus Z. So, I am writing saying 6 plus Z. 6 plus Z means also same. 6 minus 3, 3. 6 minus 2, 4. 6 minus 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. Also, we get this also 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, so on. Same, I am adding 9 plus Z. 9 plus Z. So, what we get? So on. Similarly, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. So, here observe one thing. What is Z? Z. What is here? We are in first 3. Next, multiple of 3. Next, multiple of 3. Next, multiple of 3 means 12. Next, 15. Next, 18. You add multiple of 3 third table at any time. So, all are equal. We have to observe that. Okay, friends? So, it is integers. 3 plus Z also same answer. 6 plus Z also same answer. 9 plus Z also same answer. So that is 3 plus Z is equal to 6 plus Z is equal to 9 plus Z is equal to 12 plus Z is equal to 15 plus Z is equal to so on. The third tables, all third tables are equal. Why sir? Why you can add 3? So if you have an interest, you can add 2 or your lucky number 1. So if you add 1, then what you have to add? 4. Next 7. That's right. Okay. So 1, 2. Next 4. Next 6, 8. Multiple of second table. Add 4 table. If you are interested to add 4 table, first 4. Next 8. Next 12, 16. If you are interested, you add 5 table. 5, 10, 15, 20. All are equal. For example, today's date is 15. Like, okay, I am interested to add 15 table. So, first I have to add 15 plus Z. Next 15 table, 30 plus Z. Next 15 table, 53 is 45. So, 45 plus Z. 60 plus Z. So, all are equal. So, what you observed? The all tables. Okay, third table or fourth table or five table, all tables are equal in cosets. So, why you can answer 3 plus Z? If I add Z plus 3, what you observe? Both must be equal. In addition, with respect to addition, okay, 3 plus Z or Z plus 3, both must be equal. Okay, friends, both must be equal. So, this is called cosets introduction with respect to addition. Okay, next I am going to with respect to multiplication. What multiplication? For example, small a into h is equal to small a into here small a into h means with respect to multiplication. So which side you are adding small a to h? Left side. So this is called left coset. So this is called left coset because you are multiple small a to left side. So that's why this is called left coset. Okay, friends. Next, if you multiple right side, if you multiply small a to right side of h, then you get answer small h such that small h belongs to capital H. So this coset is called right coset. So these are called left coset and right coset with respect to multiplication. So with respect to multiplication, left coset and right coset. Okay, friends. So this is right side. Example. We are taking example. Example. What is example? I am multiplying 4 j. So on 4 3s 12, 4 2s 8, 4 1s 4, 4 0s 0, 4 1s 4, 4 3s 12, and so on. Next, if I multiply with 6 j. So 6 j means so on 6 table minus 18, minus 12, minus 6, 0, 6, 12, 18, and so on. If you are observed, all these are the equal or not? No. Only with respect to addition, these are equal. While, for example, if you add this, with respect to addition means 2 plus z, 4 plus z, 6 plus z. Both are equal. With respect to addition means all these are equal. But with respect to multiplication, all these are not equal. This is your observation. Okay? So, multiplication means we have to multiple. Okay, for example, if I am interested to multiply with 15, then what you observe 15? 15 3 is 45, 2 is 30, 15, so on, 0, 15, 30, 45, so on. So, is it equal to 30z? No, because this is a multiplication. With respect to multiplication means these are not equal. Okay, friends? Observe what is the difference between with respect to addition and with respect to multiplication. So this is called cosets interaction. Cosets interaction. This is okay. Okay, students. Here we have to observe one note point. What is note point? Left or right coset of any subgroup of group is called modulo the subgroup of the group. Means left or right, okay now, whatever it may be, left or right coset of any subgroup of group G is called, means it can be written as modulo the subgroup of the group. Modulo means here left or right coset of the subgroup. Okay, friends? Next, theorem 1. What is theorem 1? If capital H is any subgroup of G and small h belongs to capital H, then capital H into small h is equal to capital H is equal to small h into capital H. Here what you observe in the statement, because that is left coset, right coset must be equal. That is the theorem statement. Okay, friends, left and right cosets must be equal. That is the theorem statement. Okay, next. Given. What is given? Here given capital G is group. Given capital G is group. And given capital G is group and capital H is subgroup of G. G is group and H is subgroup of capital G. Okay, here that is given statement. So what we have to prove? Capital H into small h is equal to capital H, and similarly small h into capital H. Okay, so I am proving in two ways. Okay, case 1. To prove H into small h is equal to capital H. I am putting first capital H into small h is equal to capital H. Okay, friends. Next second case, I am proving small h into capital H is equal to capital H. Okay. So first I am proving capital H into small h is equal to capital H. Okay. So let small h1 belongs to capital H. Okay, friends. Small h1 belongs to capital H. Okay. Let multiply with both sides with small h. Then small h1 into small h belongs to capital H into small h. Okay? Understand, students? First, I am taking an element in capital H. Next, multiply with both sides small h. Why we multiple? Because I am already said what you have to prove. Capital H into small h is equal to capital H means capital H into small h containing capital H and capital H containing capital H into small h. Or if you have doubts, you can write simply capital H into small h subset are equal to H and H subset are equal to H into small h. Okay, whatever it may be. Okay, so we have to prove capital H into small h subset are equal to capital H first. Now, so that's why I have taken small h1 belongs to capital H, multiply with both sides small h to both sides. Then I get small h1 into small h belongs to capital H into small h. Okay, friends? Any doubt? Okay. Next, here what is H? What is H? H is a group. Since H is a subgroup, we have small h1 comma small h belongs to capital H. That implies small h1 into small h belongs to capital H. Okay, friends? Well, first we have taken small h1 into small h belongs to capital H into small h. Now we have proved small h1 small h belongs to capital H. That is capital H into small h is subset are equal to capital H. That means that. Okay? Capital H into small h is subset are equal to capital H. Now we have to prove reverse. What is reverse? Capital H is subset are equal to capital H into small h. I already mentioned it here. Okay, friends? Now I am going to that. Now I am going to prove capital H is subset are equal to capital H into small h. Okay? So first take an element in left side. Let small h1 belongs to capital H. Okay, friends? I am removing belongs to. Then what we can get? Here small h1 belongs to capital H. Small h1 belongs to capital H means small h containing capital H. So if I remove belongs to, then I can write me as simply small h1 into E. Okay, friends? Here what is capital H? Group. Group means we can use the properties. Closure property, associative property, identity property, inverse property. Okay? So here I am using inverse property. Means h1 into. Here inverse property means we can use inverse. Inverse means what is inverse? Small a into 1 by a or small a into small inverse. That way small h into small h inverse. If you have any doubt, you can write by inverse law. By inverse law or by inverse property. Okay? Anybody have doubts? Small h1 into small h inverse. So small h1 into I can write as simply belongs to capital H. Why you can write capital H instead of small h into small h inverse. Okay? Is it your doubt? Okay. I am showing you. Since capital H is group. Since capital H is group and H comma H belongs to capital H, That implies H into H inverse belongs to capital H. Okay, friends, since capital H is a group, H1 into H1 or H into H comma this is H comma H inverse belongs to capital H implies H into H inverse belongs to capital H. So first you have taken small h1 in capital H. Now you have proved h1 belongs to h1 into H. Okay, so what you observed? Capital H belongs to capital, that implies capital H is subset are equal to capital H into small h. So first you proved that capital H into small h is subset are equal to capital H. Now capital H is subset are equal to capital H into small h. That is capital H is always equal to capital H into small h. This is called right quotient. So I am proved right quotient only. Now we have to prove. Okay, now I am going to prove case 2. What is case 2? First we have proved capital H into small h is equal to capital H. Now we have proved capital H is equal to small h into capital H. In other words, small h into capital H is equal to capital H. This is called left quotient. Or simply small h into capital H is subset are equal to h and h subset are equal to small h into capital H. Okay, now I am going to prove. So first I am going to prove small h into capital H is subset are equal to h. So take an element like small h1 belongs to capital H. Small h1 belongs to capital H. Then multiply with both sides small h. Small h into h1 belongs to small h into capital H. Many doubts due to these steps. First I am taking an element in capital H. Next multiply with small h both sides. So h into h1 belongs to small h into h. So now I am going to prove this is small h into small h1 is an element in capital H. Then it is proved. Okay. So what is since capital H is a subgroup. Since capital H is a subgroup and H1 comma H1 belongs to H, by using closure property, H into H1 belongs to capital H. Since capital H is a subgroup, H comma H1 belongs to capital H. By closure property, H into H1 belongs to capital H. Okay? So this is closure property. So here small h into h1 belongs to small h into capital H. Here small h into h1 belongs to capital H. That is by using these two steps. Small h into capital H is subset are equal to capital H. So small h into capital H is subset are equal to capital H. We proved one way. Next, we have to prove another way. Capital H is subset are equal to small h into capital H. Okay. Now we are going to prove. Next. So let similarly small h1 belongs to capital H. Why we take small h1 belongs to capital H? Because here we have to take an element in left side. Now we have to prove same element in RHS. Okay. So let h1 belongs to capital H. That implies small h1 is equal to E into h1. I am writing E into h1. Why you writing E into h1? Because E is an identity element in capital H. Okay? Next, E means H into H inverse of h1. So we already know H is capital H is subgroup and H into H inverse belongs to capital H. So simply we can write small h in capital H into small h. No, small h into capital H. Since So I'm writing small h1 belongs to small h into capital H. So where you take small h1 in capital H, where you prove small h into capital H, means capital H is subset are equal to small h into capital H. First you proved small h into capital H is subset are equal to capital H, and you have proved now capital H subset are equal to small h into capital H. Means both must be equal. Capital H is equal to small h into small capital H. In case 1, capital H into small h is equal to capital H. In case 2, small h into capital H is equal to case 2. So according to these two cases, we proved this theorem. Okay, friends? Any doubts? Any doubts these steps? Okay, once again see case 2. What is statement given? Capital H is a subgroup of capital J. Means capital H is a subgroup of G, means G is a group and H is also a group, but H is an element of capital G and small h belongs to capital H. So small h is also belongs to capital H. Here small h belongs to capital H means we can take small h or h1 or anything or our surname also. Then capital H into small h is equal to capital H is equal to small h into capital H. So here we have two equals. So two equals means we have to prove two cases. So first case is capital H into small h is equal to capital H over. Next case 2, capital H is equal to small h into capital H. Means capital H in small h into capital H is equal to capital H. In other words, small h into capital H subset are equal to capital H and capital H is subset are equal to small h into capital H. So first we will prove it in this way. Small h into capital H is subset are equal to capital H. So how can you write small h into capital H subset are equal to capital H? So first take an element from LHS and prove it that is contains in RHS. So LHS is subset are equal to RHS. And similarly, RHS is subset are equal to LHS. Then must be LHS is equal to RHS. So LHS is equal to RHS. When LHS is equal to RHS, first LHS is subset are equal to RHS and RHS is subset are equal to LHS. So first case 2, let small h1 belongs to capital H. Why you taking? Because we have to prove this way. So small h1 belongs to capital H. Multiply with small h, both. Why you can multiple only left side? Because we are proving this case left case. Right case is already proved. So left case. So small h into small h1 belongs to small h into capital H. Since h is a subgroup and h1 into h comma h1 belongs to capital H. So by closure property, h into h1 belongs to capital H. So where you take small h1 into h into h1, small h into capital H. Where you proved capital H. So that is this most must be subset are equal. Subset are equal. Okay friends. Next second one. Now I am going to prove capital H is subset are equal to small h into capital H. Okay. So let small h1 belongs to capital H. Okay. Then I am removing belongs to. When you remove belongs to means containing set. Is equal to means containing element. So is equal to E into H1. What is it? Here E is an identity element. So E into H1. Okay. I am writing E instead of E H into H inverse. Why you can write E instead of E H into H inverse? Because by using inverse property. This is identity property. This is inverse property. By identity law, by inverse law. By identity law, by inverse law. So small h1 into h inverse belongs to capital H as you can write. So belongs to small h into capital H. Okay friends. So small h1 belongs to small h into capital H. So where you take in small h? capital belongs to capital H. Where you proved small h into capital H. So must be subset are equal. So first you have proved small h into capital H is subset are equal to capital H, and capital H is subset are equal to small h into capital H. So by using these two steps, we can write simply is equal to. So equal to means we can write simply subset are equal instead of is equal. Okay, whatever it may be. This is the theorem 1. If you know theorem 1 very well, you can write theorem, other theorems also easily. Okay, friends.